This one's for my father, who never believed in my dreams, and my dad, who always did. Some people never know the difference, but I was that kid who found himself searching, trying to find what he lost when the source of the seed fled town to cut costs. I never was a hater, and I don't hold a grudge. I was surrounded by my people, and that was enough to turn me around till I learned to walk straight. Mama taught me love through the schism and hate. See, she couldn't forgive him for desertion, his crime, but I was light in her eyes, so she gave me all of her time, like her mom did for her when she was a kid, when they said she'd never walk, until one day she did. She had to steal all my toys, taught me to dine and dash, no child support, left us hungry for cash, and a kid's hard to raise on disability checks, but Mama was a fighter. People, show your respect. When she found another man, I tried to call him Dad, but he spit it in my face because he'd lost all he had when his first wife left him and took his little boy, and I was just a reminder that he'd never know the joy of holding in his arms his own flesh and blood. An imperfect reflection is all that I was. But we also had Bruce with his spirit so free. Mama's oldest brother, he tried to make a man out of me, put me in boxing gloves at 6 years old. Kids called my mom a retard, so he taught me to be bold, to never back down when I knew I was right. Till the night he found himself caught in headlights, some drunk driver out on Fanshawe Park Road. He always said he'd never live to see 20 years old. 3 decades later, we never forget. I still wear my hair long as a sign of respect, and the rest of the family, they showed us signs too. Doobie started drinking export and stopped drinking blue. People think we're crazy. They say it's all trivial. Yo, we don't all go to church, but we all have our rituals. So, you always, sorry man. People think it left my mama broken. She took it hardest of all, because when you're larger than life, you just have farther to fall. Wondered if she'd make it through, how she'd carry on. First she hit rock bottom, but then we met Ron. And that was the day that everything changed. We started to feel normal, no longer estranged, because we found a man to return all the love we could give. He took pride in my dreams. He let me be his kid. Taught me to laugh at myself whenever life gets me down, replacing father lost with father figure found. I let him know he was the man I thought of as dad, though I still couldn't say the word with all the trouble I had. That didn't matter to him. He just took it in stride with unconditional love till the day that he died. And after 21 years, I rediscovered my pain, but what felt even worse was the burden of shame. Because even with this passion for words, I couldn't give him an elegy. My mouth was filled with ashes, my voice a dead melody. So I say it tonight, seeking catharsis, release, and I hope it's enough to let my dad rest in peace. When I was growing up, words were some of my best friends. They didn't always make me less lonely, but I could always depend on shaping vague thought into concrete expression to cope with hostility and constant rejection. And as I grew older, I went farther and deeper, like the Earth Rim Walker, a mysterious creature who spoke in strange tongues, surrounded by voices of dead poets who fill history with beautiful noises. Does art imitate life? Or do we just capture reality? Or do we create it when we remove the banality? For thousands of years, philosophers have been asking, and you can still hear that question when the poets start rapping, because when you break it all down, our entire language is symbols. We grow beyond objective reality, becoming verbally nimble. Sure, sometimes I still use words, but they usually use me, because words shape my thoughts, define the things that I see. I used to be an actor, and before I stepped up on stage, my favorite way to warm up was playing mirror games. London, will you indulge me if this gets a little weird? Yeah. I was hoping you'd say that. Can I get a volunteer? Thanks, man. Come on up. All right. Good. So now, stand up and put your hands up, okay? And just mimic what I do. Okay, good. Now, you lead and I'll follow you. All right, awesome. Okay, so this is the dance between art and real life. Simple, mimetic, Occam's razor is the knife. Okay, but this is the part that always blew my mind. Both of us lead and follow at the same time. All right, thanks. Okay, so the first 2 rounds, kind of like a simile, because I was acting like you and you were acting like me. Okay, but then we moved beyond that. We became metaphor. We became one and the same, and we were separate no more. We both walk away with a deeper definition, transformed by the act of lyrical precision. Now, I keep dropping the words. We move into catharsis, and that's where I want to live, because that's where the art is. Hamlet on stage, to be or not to be. He doesn't suffer alone, because it could have been me or you going through it and feeling that pain. Hamlet's just a metaphor. We're one and the same. The original hyperlinks are just multiple meanings implied in the rhymes that the poet's been dreaming. So never forget that art is still important. Show your love for your poets. Stand up and support it. And thanks for letting me share with you my twisted aesthetic. I don't want to imitate life. I'm hypermimetic.